What's going on, guys? This is Joey Speaks for Everyday People, the podcast. Today I have on the podcast Leticia Vazquez. What's going on, Letty?
Hi, Joey. Thank you for inviting me here today and being part of your community.
Sure.
I'm excited to share my story with your community, and hopefully we can inspire somebody and motivate somebody.
I love it. Okay, guys. So this is my first podcast with someone else on aside from me. So this is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be our first time together. So let's do it. So Letty.
Yes.
Let's talk about how we met and how you became my client and how we've become friends and the things that we do and hang out. And so let's just kind of talk about it.
Okay. Well, we pretty much met probably like during the pandemic. Well, my sister works with your relative, right? And sister-in-law. And my sister knows that I like to work out and into fitness and stuff. So she said, hey, there's Joey that's going to be doing some classes, and if you want to join. And I said, sure, let's, give Joey a try. So that's how I started working out with you.
And now it was through the challenge or through Zoom?
So we started with Zoom classes, and then when you had the challenge, then my daughter and myself joined one of the challenges. So.
Got it.
I think it was 7.
Challenge number 7.
Maybe.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I do these online fitness challenges as well as I do live Zoom classes for 5 days a week. And so when you did start, it was through Zoom, but then the challenge had started pretty soon after that.
Yes.
Yeah. So the challenges it's such a great way for people to really, really, through an online platform where you don't have to go into a gym, where you don't have to, be anywhere physically. You can do everything, from home or from your gym, and then kind of just check in online. The challenges that I've done I've done 14 of them, and they have been just awesome. I've met so many people, not just from California or surrounding where I'm at out here in Arcadia, but I've had people from all over the country. I actually have an Illinois connection. I used to call them the Chicago connection, but they're not in Chicago. I just like saying it. But one of the guys, Josh, he ended up recruiting a bunch of people. I think I had maybe like 6 or 7 people from Illinois, so that was cool. But so the cool thing is, when it comes to the challenges and for Zoom, is that so regardless of where you're at, I can still train you. You can still be my client. We can still work together. I can still guide you, and you can still just be a part of what we're doing here.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what did you think about the first challenge that you were in?
Well, my daughter and myself joined for the purpose of,
Leticia.
Staying healthy, and but I had never joined a challenge. I had never done a challenge, and I thought, what is this? What is this all about? So I was kind of excited to do the challenge, that first challenge, not knowing what to expect. So that from there on, I've been learning from every challenge that you put. I have joined your challenges, but every single time, I learned something new with a different challenge.
Yeah. So, and the cool thing is, for each challenge, everybody's goals are going to be different. So you may kick ass in the first challenge, and then now your goals in the next challenge are going to be different. Some people want to come into the challenge and they might want to do, they might want to focus on weight loss. Right. And then the next time, they've lost some weight, they look good, they feel good. Now they want to, focus on muscle gain. And so I think that because I do multiple challenges, it does give you a chance to change your goals and to get a different idea of what you can do with your body.
Right. Plus all the information that you provide or the group shares and stuff, just learning different
techniques.
Yeah.
So challenge number 7, and this is nothing bad on any of the other challenges, but I think that challenge number 7, I think it was the first time that I had over 100 people, and the Facebook board was popping. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. So the personalities in the challenges really dictate how the challenges go, Now, your individual performance, that's going to be on each individual person. But the more popping that the board is, the more inspiration that you get from the board, the more motivation you get from the board. And when I say the board, I mean like people posting the stuff that they're doing, the meals that they're eating, the workouts that they're doing. Just like some people always come on and just give like a motivational, quick little quote or something like that. But number seven is my number. Number 7, I would say that it was probably the most active challenge that I've had. I've had 13 challenges. I've also had one ladies only challenge, for a total of 14. And all of the challenges have been good in their own way. But number 7 was popping. And I think that was I think that might have been the one where I separated the men and the women.
Yes, there was a category, men and women category. Yeah.
Yeah. So my challenges had originally started off as being weight loss challenges. I got to give a shout out to Anna. Because Anna won, I think, like 4 of my first 5 challenges.
Wow.
Those were weight loss challenges. And so it basically went off of how much body percentage, your percentage of body weight that you actually lost throughout the challenge. So it all was just strictly by the numbers. And Anna she was just so focused. She was so just determined, not just to win, because she's super competitive, but she was not just determined to win, but she really was teaching herself what works for her. You know what I mean? Anna has, I wouldn't say yo-yoed, but she has definitely, she would lose a good amount of weight and then she would gain some back and not get crazy, gaining it back, but like she would kind of go up and down a little bit. But then I think that in those first 5 challenges, she really figured out, where her sweet spot was. Then when the transformation challenges started, it kind of turned into something different. And so the reason why I changed my challenges from weight loss to transformation was because I didn't want people to just be focused on losing weight. Because the funny thing is, not the funny thing, but the true thing is that when you are trying to transform your body, most of the time, what the scale says is probably the last thing that you should be focused on. Now, I'm not saying that it's not important, because it is, but how you feel is the most important. How you look is the next most important. How you're fitting in your clothes is the next most important. Then your measurements. So all those things, and depending on what your goal is, any one of those 4 items I just named could be your most important thing. And then the scale. Now, if you need to lose a whole bunch of weight, obviously the scale is going to be much more important. And for some people, when they are a certain weight, they look a certain way. So it does, weighing yourself is important, but I think one of the weight loss challenges I had, people were losing like 30, 40 pounds in 6 weeks. It was crazy. And some people, if you had that much weight to lose, sure, that's great. But I started to realize that, that's when you're really going to have a yo-yo effect. When you lose that much weight that fast, chances are you may put it back on. So I changed them over to transformation challenges, and I think it was the best idea that I have had for the challenges, and they've been awesome.
Yeah,
they've been awesome.
I actually like them because, like I said, I get to learn something new every time, and I found myself, like you were saying, if I, let's say this challenge, I learned that, I could track my calories. This challenge, I add to whatever I had learned the challenge before. So. Yeah. When you put your challenges, I always join for the purpose of me learning something new.
Yeah. And so if I'm not mistaken, you won challenge number 12. Yeah. So you
I think when I started at 7, so 8, 9, 10, 11, and then by the time 12 came, it's just like I felt more confident, and obviously tracking my meals, tracking what I ate, my exercise and stuff like that I was actually able to see like a big difference at the end of 6 weeks. So yeah, it was great.
So for my challenges, what I was doing before, I was doing 2 or 3 challenges per year. So that's how come from 7 to 12 kind of went pretty quick. Where this year I have only done my beginning of the year challenge, and I'm not going to do another one until the beginning of 2024. And I have some big plans for that, so be on the lookout for that in January 2024. But there was 5 challenges in between from when you started to when you won. But man, the time that you won, man, like you really did put it all together. when I talk about the winners for each challenge, the biggest thing that I notice is how you put it all together, not just being good working out, not just being good with your cardio, not just being good with your diet. It really is, or with the weights also, it really is the combination of all three. And so when I talk to a new client or my classes or whoever I'm talking to fitness about, I always talk about the 3 pieces of fitness. The 3 pieces of fitness go like this. Number 1 is diet is on the top. Think of a nice little pyramid like this, right? So diet's on the top. Depending on what your goal is, cardio may be more important for you, or weights may be more important for you. And you can interchange those down on the bottom of the triangle, but diet always has to be on the top, okay? So when people figure out that, like, if I could tell you how many times someone has said to me, like, you know what, I finally really, honed in on my diet. I really started focusing on what I was eating, and I saw everything change. And it's the key. You can work out as much as you want. You can hit the weights. You can bang the weights. You can do cardio. You can do everything that you want to do. You cannot out-train a bad diet. So remember that, guys. Regardless of whatever your goal is, you have to figure out what your goal is specifically so you can work towards that with a calorie surplus, a calorie deficit, a calorie maintenance where you're trying just to tone up or whatever the case is. And that's where, and so as I do these podcasts, as I do these shows, I'm going to talk about needing a personal trainer. And I want to make sure I tell you this. I don't say this to try to become your personal trainer. Of course, I would love to become your personal trainer, but I'm not doing this to sell my services as a personal trainer. What I'm trying to do is show you the value of having a personal trainer. And if you like me, come get me. I'm here. So when you do not have a personal trainer, when you are just kind of going about it yourself, you really may not know what's the difference in the macros. Like how many grams of protein should I be eating? How can I play with my carbs and fats? What is my maintenance number of calories? What is a calorie deficit? How big of a deficit should I be in? If I want to gain muscle, how do I do that? Oh, you need to be in a calorie surplus. Well, how much of a surplus? Do you need more protein? Do you need more carbs? How old are you? There's so many things that kind of really go into it. And as a personal trainer, it's our job to figure your body out and put you on the path for success. So if you do not have a personal trainer or you're not sure about how to train, you should seek out a personal trainer. Whether you are out here in Arcadia, pick me. If you're not, pick somebody who you feel comfortable with, okay? But it really is important to get with a really good group or get with someone who can direct you. Okay, that was the challenges. So let's talk about the Zoom workouts that you do 2, 3, 4 times a week.
Yes.
What do you think about those?
The Zoom workouts, I like them because they actually, so I like them. They're a set schedule. You have a set schedule for, 7:00, and I already know I'm going to put out my my time, my hour. I am going to dedicate it to the Zoom workout. I don't have to go to the gym or, if somebody is on
a machine,
the machine, or it's crowded, or you have a stalker like I did before. And that's actually why I like the Zoom workouts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So my gym before, where I used to go to, I would always go to classes, and I would come out of the class, and there was always this person like, hey, how's it going? Talking to me. And it just got to the point like, oh, what are you going to work out to? I'm going to work out with you today. Just himself inviting to my workouts, because I would do classes and then I would do outside, I would do the weights. And so when you started doing the Zoom workouts, I thought, you know what, I think this is for me, because I don't want to deal with, that situation.
I did not know that.
In the gym. So
that's very interesting. So number 1, I'm glad it all worked out good. Number 2, so if you have ever been to my gym, my gym is like a really good Mexican food restaurant that is like a hole in the wall Mexican restaurant that has the greatest food. But if you don't know that they're there, you don't know that they're there. You can walk by that place 100 times and not know that they're there. Get it out, Joey. So at my gym, I like to keep it very private. And that is actually one of the reasons why I would say like my clientele is probably 70% women, 30% men. And so I have a wife, I have a daughter, and I want one of the things that before I got my gym, I actually did speak to some women. I talked to some guys and some girls, but I asked women, what's the biggest thing? What's the biggest hurdle that you have when you are going to train? And the number one thing that kept coming up was like, I always feel like there's kind of creepy guys in the gym kind of checking me out. And then the next thing was, I don't know what to do. I see this machine and I see people doing what they're doing on it, but I'm not sure how I should do it. So I have made my gym pretty private. And so I do not like it to where other people know that we're in here. When you come here, I want you to feel like you're in a safe space. And so for as long as I've known you, you never told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, I'm glad that, I'm glad the Zoom worked out for you. And I'm glad that the way that I do my classes.
And coming into the class, I like it because, you have a little community here going on, with the girls. Everybody gets to know each other and hang out, and we have fun, we make jokes, we talk, and we share.
And you guys ruthlessly brutalize me.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, especially Jean. Yeah, I'm sorry, I need to cut you off.
Yeah, no. So that community, I feel like I like being part of it. So Zoom or in class, I'm here.
Yes, you are.
And because of those, I think because of the, me coming in and you helping me out, I've my body, I think, or myself, I feel better. Before you, I had other personal trainers, but with you, you really showed me, you really talked about the calories, and you really talked about the macros, and you really talked about how important that was. And before, I wasn't getting that. I don't remember any other trainer. They would just be like, okay, we're gonna work on this today, but they never talked about that. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to the gym. I could work out. I could eat whatever I want, and I would never see results.
Interesting. So there are so many people who feel like, oh yeah, I work out so I can eat what I want. And I get the logic. It's not good logic, but I get the logic. It's the opposite. You go to the gym, and then it should make you want to eat better because you're, for you and most everybody else at my gym, guys, girls, the young kids I have, man, you guys come in here and you kill yourselves in the gym. You guys go hard. As a coach, the toughest thing for a coach to have to do is always have to push somebody who does not want to be pushed, compared to always having to pull somebody back from going too hard. Those are the people who you love to train because I don't have to motivate you. You're motivated. Now it's my job to motivate people, and not just motivate, but to give you discipline. Discipline in a nice way, but the reality is that, you go hard. And so I think that one of the things that frustrates me as a personal trainer is that, I know how hard it is to focus on your diet. Okay. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. I've been as big as 248 pounds, and that is fat for me. Okay. That is way, way, way too high for me. And so I've been an athlete my whole life. I've been in shape the majority of my life. I had a little period of time where I basically had just kind of given up on myself for a little bit, and I had a lot of injuries and I had a lot of things going on. So I've been on both sides, and I know what it's like. So as a trainer, watching you guys come in here and just, go hard, it frustrates me for you guys, not for myself, but for you guys, that until you figure out that it really is about the diet, it doesn't matter how many times I say it. When someone is ready for it, they'll do it. I can say, hey, how'd you eat today? Hey, did you track your meals today? Hey, and it's just words until something happens and it clicks for them, or it clicks for you, or it clicks for me. And then that's the point where you realize this is what it's been about the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it really is cool for me to watch you guys go so hard, but it frustrates me for you guys that until you figure out the meal part.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard to keep, to keep track. It's hard to eat correctly, I should say. But, keeping track is really important.
Tracking is everything.
Yes.
So I just so we're going to talk about hiking in just a few minutes. So I just got done. We went hiking yesterday, as a matter of fact. We went to my favorite place, Eden Canyon, and you're going to hear me talk about Eden Canyon all the time, so get used to it. But I went back today. So we went yesterday, and we were, just we got a nice little workout, and then I went back today, and so I wanted to time myself. I wanted to see how long it takes for me to get from the head of the trail up to the waterfall and back. And so before I timed myself, I said I thought I was going to be able to do it in 50 minutes, 52, something like that. And I looked at my clock once I got to the waterfall, and I was surprised that it took me 30 minutes to get there. And I was moving. I was speed walking. Like, you see people just doing that like real fast walk. Like that was me. I was moving. And I'll tell you why I'm not running and jogging yet, but I will be getting to that, and we'll talk about that later. So I was speed walking, and the trail itself is 3.4 miles, and it's about a mile and 3/4 up, mile and 3/4 back. And so I thought that I got up to the waterfall in 25, 24, something like that. And it was 30. And I was like, damn, like I was jogging it, but I was moving. My heart rate was up, and then whenever I go up the hills, I don't slow down. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't slow down. And so my heart rate gets up pretty high. And so then I got back down to the trash cans to the beginning of the trail, and it took me an hour. I was so pissed. I thought that I had done it in 50, 51, 52. But that just shows you how important it is to track. I've literally been to Eden Canyon 300 times. I mean, like, I've been there hundreds of times, and I know how fast I go. I know when I run. I know when I walk. I know. No, I was off by 10 minutes for sure. 8 to 10 minutes. And so I give you that example because it just happened just a few hours ago. But you may think that you're eating 1,800 calories, but you're probably eating 2,200 calories. If you're not tracking exactly what you eat, and as you eat it, you got to track it. If you go back and try to remember, I think I had 5 ounces. I think I had 4. Tracking is the single biggest thing that I can say that people are not doing when they're training. Going hard, eating the correct calories and all that kind of stuff, but tracking is probably the single biggest thing that people are not doing when they can't figure things out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because when I started tracking, when I started using your app, and then I started tracking my food, then I was just more aware of like, oh, damn, if I would have ate that, I would have been like over what I should have eaten that day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I have this app. It's called the Joey Speaks Fitness app. It is a really cool app. I'm not even telling you that just because it's mine, but it does everything. Like I give you meal plans in the app. I give you workouts in the app. You track your progress pictures. You track your measurements. Everything that we need to do. So if you were in New York, because I'm in California, if you were in New York, if you were in Germany, I don't care where you're at, we can communicate through the app. We can actually even text message each other through the app. I give you a schedule. Say, hey, on Mondays you do this workout. Tuesday, and it will remind you, hey, Leticia, Leticia, today you got chest and tris.
Right.
Make sure you get your meals in. And then and when you get done with the workout, as you track the workout, you can put notes in it. Joey, I hate this. I hate you for giving me this workout. And then, but I did this. I bench pressed this much. I did my cardio. Whatever the case is, it does everything. And then you can go back and kind of check all of your progress. So you can see where you started, and then you can see your progress. So whether you have my app or someone else's app, tracking is so important when it comes to fitness. Yeah. All right. Okay. Enough of that. Let's talk about some of our hiking adventures that we've gone on. So we've already talked about Eden Canyon, and Eden Canyon is actually one of the most populated hikes around Pasadena, Altadena area.
Yes.
It's has a really cool waterfall up at the top. There's hundreds of trails around here.
Yes.
But this one I call it a bunny slope because it's only 3.5 miles, and you can make it as rough or as easy as you want. A lot of places to stop and talk and kind of shoot the shit and, sit in the shade or do whatever. But then also if you want to run it, jog it, kind of give it a little pace. There's a little place out there where it's the outdoor gym where I'll stop and I'll knock out some push-ups and some squats and whatever. I took the group.
Yes.
I took our I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had a group from the gym, right? The girls, and just went over there and got some boxing done.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, so some of my clients from the gym, we all met at Eden Canyon. We all did the hike together. We got to the outdoor gym, which is about a mile up. And then we started hitting mitts. We started banging mitts, and it was really cool because the people who were walking by, they were like, they were checking everybody out. And this one man in particular said, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I really like what you're doing." It was cool to, just have somebody acknowledge that,
And it felt good, like being out there and, we're boxing and people are walking by and it's like, this is what we do.
That's right. This is what we do. That's right.
This is what we do.
That's right. So Eden Canyon, we do that. So we've been to, specifically, we've been to Griffith Park. We did the Glendale Trail, which we're going to talk about in a second. We also have done another trail called Los Leones in Santa Monica, and Los Leones is awesome. I think you can make it as long as you want to. Yeah,
you can go as far as you want to. Yeah.
And it has a lot of rolling hills, so you're up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
That one time we went 3 miles up and 3 miles down, so it's probably like six miles that day.
And we could have probably went up another 2 more miles if we wanted to, 2 or 3 more miles. And then when you get to like about midway of the trail, there's like a little landing. And then you look out, you can see the entire ocean.
You just stop and you turn around and there's the ocean, the horizon, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. You took me there. Yeah, that was so we've gone there a couple times,
Yes.
2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
That's one that you got to kind of be ready for. Like if you go out there thinking you're going to go on a little bunny slope.
Yeah, no.
Mistake. So we also went to the Glendale Trail in Griffith Park. And so that was a pretty cool trail. So
it's fun.
Tell us about that one.
That one was good.
Yeah, it was.
So we went to Griffith Park and go up that trail, and Joey was following me, and then all of a sudden he stood quiet for a minute, and I'm like, is he still here? I had to go back and check to see if he was still there.
I was there in body, but to make a very long story short, the trail's cool. Trail's a real cool trail. Maybe 3 miles? Something like that?
Something, yes.
Not too much, yeah. But there's a part where it gets real skinny. And if you know anything about me, I don't like hiking on skinny trails. When I say skinny, I mean like it gets about this wide. And then over there's nothing. I don't like that. So so we're on the trail and it's wide, it's nice. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of starts narrowing up. And then I looked over to my left, and I was like, damn, we're up pretty high already. And that's getting pretty skinny over there. And I shut up. I turned my music down because I always bring a speaker when we go. And she was right in front of me. I was just focused on her back and her feet, watching her step. And and she was like, "Are you okay back there?" And I was like, yeah. So when it gets skinny, I don't like that.
It was just only a little piece, though, right? Yeah.
Not even like a quarter, like an eighth of a mile.
Yes.
Yeah. It wasn't long at all. And then once we got off the skinny part, I started breathing again, and I was fine again. And
it was fun.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it was a good trail.
Yeah, it's
good trail.
That one's really good.
Good trail. So there's another hiking story that Jean is another one of my clients, a great friend of mine that I go hiking with her as well. And she's gonna bag on me about the time that we went and it got skinny, and I'll let her tell you that story. So I don't like it when it gets skinny. Anyway, Los Leones is a great trail. Griffith Park, Glendale's a great trail. Eden Canyon. I've been to Henniker Flats.
Etiwanda Falls.
Yeah. That's your favorite
Rancho
trail.
Cucamonga. That's actually a really nice, steep, and then there's a little waterfall up there. So really relaxing and shade and
Yeah,
it's nice.
The terrain is different at Etiwanda Falls. It's much more rocky the entire time. And I feel like it's a little more steady incline.
Yes.
It's a little more steady incline. It's tough too. So I bring up, so Letty was my client, and then we became good friends, and like now we hang out and we hike, and so I want to make sure that I am getting across to you what we like to do. We like to go hiking. We like to lift weights. We like to train, And so what I want to make sure that I'm getting across to you, that we're getting across to you, is that I want you to find what you like to do. When you find the activity that you like to do, you'll do it. So if you like to train jujitsu, if you like to train in boxing, if you like to hike, if you like to swim, whatever your choice of activity is, when you find that activity, you'll do it. When you are doing stuff that you don't want to do, you'll find an excuse to not do it. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I agree.
Yeah. So like, I think that when you do figure out what you like, now you're looking for reasons to do it as opposed to not do it. You know, peer pressure is a tough thing, right? When you are not dedicated to what it is that you're doing when it comes to fitness, anything that one of your friends say or one of your family members say is a reason for you to not work out. Hey, we're going to go to the movies. Hey, we're going to go have some drinks. Hey, we're going to go to dinner. We're going to do this, that. Oh, I was going to work out. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But when you're on it, they say, hey, we're going to go hang out tonight. Oh, I got to hit the gym tonight.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is that like at first it's cool. And then as you keep consistent like that, a lot of times your friends and family may say like, what's up with that, man? Like, you going to hang out or what?
Right.
And
I've gotten a couple of my friends gotten mad at me. Like, I'll be like, it's a Friday night. I'm going to go boxing. I have my class. And they're like, we're going to go to the movies. Sorry, I can't. Now, why don't we plan it, on a Saturday night when I don't have class? And no, we're going to go today. Okay, well, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really does turn into a thing. One of the things that I have experienced as a personal trainer is the dynamic between a husband and a wife or partners where let's just say one of, the couple is, they're training with me or they're training on their own, doing whatever they're doing. And then they start to change their diet and the other one is not. That turns into a thing. And I didn't realize how deep stuff like this really goes in people's houses. And what I mean by that is, like food is such a personal thing for people culturally, not just what you like, but like, this is the food this is the culture that I'm from. And this is the food that I eat regardless. And I was very surprised at how deep it really goes when someone is trying to change their diet. And so I have had this conversation a number of times about, hey, like, I know that this is what's happening, but like you're going to have to figure out the best way to talk to your spouse about what you need to do. And that does not mean that you cannot eat the things that you typically eat. Now you got to portion control. Now you got to, look at your calories and your macros. It always comes back to the same basic stuff, but there is a time where you're going to have to take a stand for what you need to do. The worst thing that you can do, the absolute worst thing you can do is not do anything. Go to the doctor, get a bad report, and the doctor says, hey, you're pre-diabetic. Your blood pressure's high. Your cholesterol's high. Your A1C's bad. Then you're being reactive as opposed to being proactive. And you say, like diet is like a 4-letter word. But the reality is it's not as bad as people think it is when you consistently stay where you're supposed to be so that you can still enjoy other food that you like. Mm-hmm. You don't have to eat salad and, like sweet potatoes and just the things that everyone, chicken and broccoli and sweet potatoes. Of course, that's a part of it. But like, man, like there's so much more to it that you can really enjoy. And the funniest thing to me about diets is that the majority of the things that people eat typically are what I give them.
Right.
Then once it becomes structured is when things change. Oh, I can only have this much.
Right.
Or I can only have this many calories or this. And so that's what changes things. It's not the food. No, don't get me wrong. I like to eat shitty like everybody else does. I love me some Bob's Big Boy, chili and spaghetti, hot fudge cake.
Yummy.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So, but I love that. I don't eat it all the time.
Yeah. Moderation, right?
Yeah, but when I want to treat myself,
yeah.
I go out to Burbank and I go get my grub on. You know what I mean? That's So,
but not all the time, right?
Absolutely
like
not.
It has to be moderation. It has to be portion control. It has to be healthy choices.
Just think of it like this. The 80-20 rule. If you're on it 80% of the time, enjoy yourself the other 20% of the time. And so another big thing that happens. So when my clients go on vacation, a lot of times they're like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to eat? How am I going to do this? Man, like you come with me so that you are getting yourself ready. to live your life.
Right.
So when it's time for you to go live your life on vacation, man, go live your life on vacation.
Yeah.
Eat what you want. Do what you want. Now, don't be crazy. Don't be stupid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like, man, like go on and have that.
Or you're prepared, mentally
Absolutely.
of what, you're what you want to eat.
Yeah. So, okay. So Leticia, you've been on vacation a couple of times since I've known you already.
Yes, I have.
She's a vacationer. I'm jealous.
I like to vacation. It's kind of it's my self-care, I guess.
Yeah,
Of my self-care. I like to go. One of my goals is I pick at least one place to go each year. Travel with my family or my friends, my moms or my mom or my sisters. For me, that's my balance. I work out hard. I want to go on vacation and enjoy myself, like you're saying.
Yeah. And so I need to become a better vacationer. I do not vacation. I go to Oklahoma to see my family. Every once in a while, I'll go to New York to see my some other family. I do not vacation. That has to change. And I promised myself that in 2024, I was going to change that. So maybe I'll have some videos from other places, but that'll be another thing. Okay. So yeah. So when you are training all the time and when you're consistently working out, watching your meals, just kind of being on it, when you do vacation, you can have a good time.
Yes.
So I want to talk about this specific item real fast. So I graduated high school in 1987. Okay. So I'm 53 years old. People my age, I feel like most people, before they get into a fitness program, I feel like they're looking to start to slow down in their lives. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Like
retirement or,
Yeah, retirement's right around the corner.
Right.
You've worked for 20, 30 years, whatever your situation is. And, so like one of the things that really hits me the most is, so like I've told you guys before, I've been an athlete my whole life. I've been doing things. I've been, playing sports, When I am inactive, my body immediately attacks me. I mean, it immediately attacks me. And what I mean by that is this. When I start to slow down, whether it's for a couple weeks, couple months, like I told you before, I had gotten fat. I had gotten up to almost 250 pounds, 248 pounds. Right now, I'm about 211 today. And I walk around anywhere between 205, 217. That's my walking around weight. When I'm really lean, I'm less than 200. Anyway, when I start to slow down and I'm not working out, I'm not going to the trail, I'm not being active, I'm not boxing, I'm not doing the things that I like to do, man, it's this weird feeling I get in my lower back. I always feel like in my lower back, I don't get sore, but I get this one weird feeling. It almost feels like wet sand going really slowly through the bottom of my back. And it makes it like, I don't feel creaky and my back doesn't crack and stuff like that, but like, I just feel like really slow. And it starts literally from the middle of my body. And so when I get that feeling, I know that I've taken too much time off. And because I take time off like anybody else does. But as we get older, okay, you have to remain active. And I'm going to tell you something you may not want to hear, but you may want to hear. You have to do as much now as you did before. Now, here's the kicker, though. You don't have to do what you did before, but you need to be as active as you've always been. Now, the activities that you do may not be the same at 53 as they were at 23, right? But I still got to work out. I still got to go to the trail. I still got to watch my meals. I still have to do the things because we only have one life to live. We only have this one body that we have. And I have been injured so much. I've had 5 major surgeries, and they've all affected my life significantly. And so as I get older, like my injuries, from playing sports have really affected what I'm able to do. And there was a big point, like I told you, like when I got real big, my knee was so bad that I couldn't even walk sometimes. And so I started kind of just feeling bad. I kind of got depressed and all that kind of stuff. The next thing you know, like, man, like I was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was just not who I am. But it took over me like it does anybody else. And so one day I'm in the bathroom. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, damn, like you're big, fool. like you're big. And I was like, well, maybe I'm just gonna be big. And I went to sleep that night just accepting the fact that, like, you know, like this is my life, and this is what happened, and this is where I'm at now, and this is what I'm going to do. I woke up the next morning and that didn't fly. You know, like I was like, nah, that's not me. I had a bad stretch of time that turned into me getting as big as I've ever been. And then I had a really bad night. And I woke up the next morning, I was ready to go. Like I really needed that, like, literal physical look in the mirror, you know, like, man, like that's not who you are.
Right.
You know? And so regardless of what I did, I had to do something. And so I could not do what I did when I was 17, when I was 22, when I was 32. I had to start slow. And my knee was so bad that, like, I couldn't jog, I couldn't play basketball, I couldn't do none of those things. But I had a punching bag in my house. And so I would literally take my punching bag out to the middle of my living room, and I would just stand still, and I would just punch, pop, 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 just start throwing punches. And slowly but surely, my knee started to get stronger, my cardio started to get better, and it took a long time. It didn't happen overnight. But that's where I kind of started getting my shit back together, because I had gotten so far gone. But I had to accept that I was not who I was before. I could not do what I did before.
Right.
And so then at that point I decided, okay, well, what can you do? And when I decided that, that's when my life changed again. So at 17, you know, I'm playing professional sports. I'm a high caliber athlete. I'm doing these things. At 22, 23, I'm playing football in college, trying to possibly maybe have a chance to go pro. Who knows? But I hurt my knee, so who knows? And I'm not that guy anymore. I was not that guy anymore. But so that once I decided, okay, well, I'm not that guy, but I am this guy, and I can do this, that's when my life changed. So find what you like to do. It took me a long time to figure out what I like to do. You like hiking.
Yes.
You like working out.
Yes.
Like, you like doing your classes and stuff. Man, keep doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not just talking to you. I'm not just talking to me. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to all of us. It's what you have to do for your life. You want to have a good quality of life. And the less active you are, the worse quality you're going to have. Okay. All right. So sorry about going off on tangent on that, but I need to make sure I let you guys know, find what you like, do what you like.
And have for a lot of people out there, they think, oh, they can't start or they can't do it. I think baby steps, you know,
Absolutely.
do
That's such a good
something,
point.
do something small, start small and build from there.
100%.
And, yeah. And reach your goal that way.
Yeah. I literally stood in front of my bag. I didn't move my body at all. I just stood there and just threw punches. You know, I'll tell people in the gym, you got to walk before you crawl. You got to crawl before you jog. You got to jog before you run. It's a progression. You can't just go into what you think you should be. You got to kind of step to it. Yeah. All right. So next, Leticia.
Yes.
So you are a teacher.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about that.
Okay. I've been teaching for 25 years, first graders, so 6, 7-year-olds. So, you know, it's the whole day I'm going and sit down, come here, let's do this.
Are they in school full time? They're full day?
Yeah, full day. So, I'm on my feet.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm on my feet all day, and I like it. You know, I like what I do. And I think it probably relates to you. I mean, my job is to teach my students how to read, you know, and that's what I do in that year they're with me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So my wife is a teacher as well. She teaches special ed, totally different set of circumstances than probably what you deal with every day. Being a teacher, being a coach, you know, it is there's a lot of responsibility with it, you know. Yes. And whether people realize it or not, you know, people who really take their craft seriously, a teacher, a personal trainer, there really is a lot of responsibility that I don't think that I ever want to let it get to me where I have so much responsibility where it kind of freezes me. But I do acknowledge, you know, what I'm doing, teaching people this, teaching people that. You're literally, you know, with kids 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Right. You know, like they're probably one of their most impressionable times. Mm-hmm. You know, yes. And that's being a teacher is tough, and I don't know that you guys get nearly as much credit as you deserve. I have a much better sense of it now because my wife has been a teacher for a while. And I know that the good teachers out there are underappreciated. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what you do.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's always, if it's not at school, bring, work home sometimes. And so, yeah, it's definitely, I have to really find a balance in my life because, I mean, I could be the teacher 24/7. And I need to give myself some time to be healthy and be active so I could be ready the next day and, face those challenges that I have to do with the kids every day.
Yeah. It's a lot. And, so for whatever your job is, so the name of my show, my podcast is called Everyday People. We are everyday people. We are all everyday people. And what I hope that you learn and what you see on my show, on my podcast, is that, it does not matter what you do, does not matter what kind of job you have or like what you're into. We all can kick ass in life. Like we can all, you don't have to be, like a movie star, a singer, an athlete or whatever. You don't have to be super famous to really impact people around you. And, I wanted to be a pro baseball player. That didn't work out for me, right? And then it took me a long time to figure out that like where I'm at now, this is where I'm supposed to be. I never in a million years thought that I would be in this position. I don't know if you had grown up saying that I want to be a teacher. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But like you're in it. So
Yes.
guys, that's what you do from young. Nice.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. So the cool thing is you are at where you're at. I'm at where I'm at, and we have a chance to impact people around us. And I think that it's cool to talk to people and tell people your story, but it's also good for them to see how you get down. Like your body reflects what you do. Your mind reflects what you do. And so as us everyday people, just because like we have regular jobs or whatever the case is, like, man, like there's so much that you can do where you're at to the people who you can affect, whether it's your family, your friends, or if you're a coach, if you're, a little league coach, whatever the case is, you're affecting these first graders. And I think that you were telling me a story when we were hiking one time that you have a kid now who you had their parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
exactly.
That really tells a story. Like you've been there so long where like it's generational.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. I see this, this person, this adult, and I said, hey, how's it going? And, oh, yeah, by the way, this is my daughter. She's in your class. And I'm like, okay, I had that, him in my class, and now I have his daughter. So it's amazing how these years pass by, and it just goes by really fast that, seeing that generation come back.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick. So I started off. So in the previous podcast, I told you guys about why I started coaching and why I started being a personal trainer for my son's baseball team. So I really got into this in 2009. I had been a personal trainer before, but not that I didn't take it seriously, but it didn't hit me the way that it did once I started coaching my son's baseball team. But from his team, I ended up having a lot of the parents of his teammates as clients. And it really tripped me out that the same way that I coached, the same style, I should say, the same style that I coached the 10, 11, and 12-year-old kids in baseball, I coached the parents the same way. And what I mean by that is people, I think that people want to know that they're cared about. Regardless of how hard a coach is on you or how easy they are. Like, I think that if the kid or the client knows that you care about them, they're willing to accept what you're giving them. Even when you're being tough on them, if you're being nice, whatever the spectrum is. And so like, it was a trip that, I'm coaching these 10, 11, and 12-year-olds, and all of a sudden, I have his dad. I have his mom. Mm-hmm. And you see all these similarities in the parent and the kid. It's a trip, but like it really is like when you care about somebody, when you care about what you're doing, I think it it really gets across to the person you're trying to get across to. I think that people just want to know that you matter to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when you treat somebody correctly, I think they're willing to listen to whatever it is you have to say, as opposed to when you're always just giving it to somebody,
Right.
and they can tell that like it's just a job for you.
Yes.
That's when people tune out. So it's coaching, teaching.
Yeah.
I think it all is kind of the same, and it's a matter of how you treat people, is how much you're going to get across your point to them.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. Last thing we're going to talk about is your overall transformation.
Yes.
So, like we talked about before, like you've been with me for a little over 2 years.
3 years.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years.
I keep saying 2, but it's 3, and we talked
3
about this
years.
yesterday. It's 3 years. And so, from the time that you started training, what would you say is the biggest differences? Not just in whether you look, but just what's your habits like, and what have you seen as the results from what you've done? And I know that you've been my client, my friend, but like whether it was with me or anybody else, like you've been consistent. Mm-hmm. Tell me about like what you feel about the differences before you were really consistent like this compared to how you look and feel now.
Okay. Well, one major thing I feel like I have more energy. I think I would be, I would feel tired because I work out so much, but in reality, I have more energy to do stuff. Okay. I feel like working out like rejuvenates me for, and at first I know I didn't, I think it's, going back to the eating, I think the way I ate before, I just didn't have that consistency of the food and stuff. So after eating and watching what I'm eating more healthy, those putting the workouts and then what I'm eating, and I feel more
complete. Yeah. So the thing that I've noticed about you the most is that you have been consistent. Mm-hmm. Consistency will always win.
Yeah.
And so like there are people who will go hard for 2, 3, 4 months and they'll get great results, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But then they go down.
Yeah.
For 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah. And
so you're kind of doing this yo-yo effect thing, right? Have you ever done that before?
Well, I think for the first year when I was with you, I actually got really frustrated at one point, and I thought, you know what?
I remember that.
I don't see, what's going on here. I can't. And then after
Joey, I don't see any results. I don't see anything. You keep telling me this, but I don't see any results though.
Yeah.
I remember that.
The thing I wasn't doing is tracking. After I started tracking, that did change a lot. But it is frustrating, like if you don't see it. And for me, it balance too, like balancing my work and balancing family and balancing myself. If I know I give myself that balance, that hour at least at the gym, I'm able to see these results. And like you were saying, I think I'm consistent. I try to be on it. I'm trying to, so, as you were saying at the beginning, the eating, the meals, the tracking, the workouts, everything putting together, and I'm listening now. So, and not just listening, but I'm following through, I think. And so I think that has made me, a better person, I guess.
Yeah,
or
you're just much more complete. Mm-hmm. Like you're when someone sees you, they can tell you work out.
Yeah.
And so I told you this, and I've told this to other people because you've told me, oh yeah, I saw this person I haven't seen in a long time, and they were like, oh dang.
Yeah.
I think you were telling me something the other day about you were driving with somebody and you moved your arm, and they were like, damn.
Yeah.
You work out or like?
Yeah, I moved my arm, or I had my friend in the back, and she's, I'm driving, and I did something, and I guess you could see, I can't see my back, but she's able to see my back, and she noticed. She's like, "Do you work out?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. Why?" "Oh, I could see some lines," and you know, oh, you moving your arm, I could, you know, see the lines there going on. So I was that itself, I was just like, oh yeah, you know, that got me a little bit motivated even to do more and to keep on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. So I have always believed this, and I tell my clients this, and I tell myself this too. When people give you, so let me start off by saying this: we should not be worried about what other people think about how good we look, how bad we look, whatever the case is. You know, like other people's opinions of us. Not that they don't matter, because I think that people are lying when they say that. If that's all that matters to you, then that's a problem. But everyone wants to be, you know, on the good side. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, when someone gives you a compliment, unprovoked, they don't have to say anything. They can say, "Oh, hey, Letty, how you doing?" Yeah. You know, "Hey, Joy, what's going on, man?" No, damn, Letty, I haven't seen you in a long time. You look good. Like you lost some weight. Like you got some muscle. Like unprovoked compliments, I think, tell a story of how hard you've been working. And like I said, it's not that we should be looking for these compliments like that, right. But when they happen, it should tell you that you're on the right track. It's 100% you're on the right track, because when someone has not seen you in a little while, and you know, it takes a while to change your body. It does not happen overnight. You know, regardless of what Instagram says, it does not happen overnight. It takes work. It takes dedication. It's not just motivation, it's discipline. It's not just motivation. It's discipline to stay on it for an extended period of time and then remain consistent. So when people give you compliments unprovoked, it really does tell you that you've been on it for an extended period of time. And so you should take those compliments seriously, and of course be thankful and all that kind of good stuff. But then, like, hey, I'm on the right track. Yeah. You know, it really does not justify, but it really lets you know that you're doing the right thing. And that's the best, you know. Little quick story about me real fast. When I'm at the gym, or like today I was on the trail, and I'll tell you about this guy I saw on the trail. When I'm at the gym, or if I see somebody who looks real good, you know, like I can tell they go hard, you know, with their workouts, or whether they're doing cardio, whatever the case is. I'll stop and I'll take my headphones off if I'm on the gym, or if I'm on the trail, whatever. I'll say, "Hey man, like, damn, you got some nice shoulders. Like, what do you do? Like, what's your main exercise for your shoulders?" And it's funny because most people are not sure if I'm talking shit to them, or if I'm complimenting. They're not sure what I'm doing. But once they understand it, it's almost like people have just been waiting for someone to say, "Hey man, like your shoulders look good." And then when I ask them what they do, "Oh man, I do shoulder press and I do these side laterals." It's like they have been waiting to tell you a story, and it's really cool. So I like to acknowledge what I see in people. So I'm on the trail today, right? And I see this young kid, about 25, shorts, no shirt, and I'm like, damn. So as I'm walking past the guy, I said, "Damn man, like you got like a 30-inch waist. Like man, like your ratio is nice. Mm-hmm. You know, your shoulder width to your waist is just, you know, is awesome." And so at first, I know he wasn't sure what I was doing, what I was saying, and then I didn't keep on saying, but I was like, yeah, you know, like I said something else, and then he understood it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he goes, yeah, something like that. He goes, "Oh, good looking out though, thanks, man." And so like I like to do that when I see somebody who's doing something, because I don't know them and they don't know me. Some stranger is just walking by them and saying like, "Damn dog, like you look good." Yeah. And so like I don't know how that guy's feeling that day. I don't know what, you know, someone's been whatever the case is, but hopefully he'll remember that, you know, somebody who he didn't know, never seen him before in my life, noticed something about me and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm acknowledging what you have done." You know what I mean? And so what I hope, I'm not sure, you know, who this kid is or what he does, but whatever it is, I hope that is going to help him push even harder. I mean, because, you know, as an adult male, to have a 30-inch waist is pretty hard to come by. So it's easy to, you know, think, "Oh, I'm always going to look like this, always going to feel like this." It just does not happen. So whenever I see somebody who's on it, I always like to try to say something. And, you know, I may have said something to you at the gym one day. If I haven't, if I see you and you look good, I'll probably tell you, because I think that it's important to encourage people as opposed to discourage people. And that's going to be the topic of another podcast, but that's going to be coming up soon, later, sooner rather than later, but in the near future. Anyway, All right. So I love the transformation that you have made from the time that you have become my client and become my friend, all the things that we have done. You have totally changed, and it's great for me to see, as your personal trainer, but more as your friend. And, like this is our lives.
Yeah.
And we have to take care of ourselves.
We sure do.
If we don't take care of ourselves, who will?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. This has been a great hour. We're going for about an hour today.
Yes.
So Leticia, thank you for being on.
Thank you, Joey, for having me. And hopefully, like we said, we get to motivate somebody out there and just have them start their own goals,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Yep. So, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Whether you're listening audio or whether you're watching on video, I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast, enjoying the show. I'm going to have different guests on as often as I can. I'm going to also be doing podcasts or shows just myself, so I'm going to be mixing it up. You will be seeing Leticia a little more often. There's a couple people who are going to be on, kind of regularly. And so I love what we're doing here with the new show, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. And I will see you guys in the next show.